All right, yeah. First of all, very excited to finally open up the season. It's been, I feel like a long time since first getting here back in December, and putting together a staff, and then putting together this team. The guys have worked extremely hard this summer, getting ready and in camp, and now to finally play. We're tired of hitting each other. I can tell you that. We want to hit somebody else, and and we're excited about. I'm excited about playing in Nippert, and know we got another sellout again that we just announced, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, one of the best atmospheres in the country, and so really excited about that. But I think playing EKU, a team that have played a lot over the years. Played them when I was at App State. We played them twice when I was at Louisville. They got a lot of pride, a lot of in their play, and then they're coming off a really outstanding year last year. I think Coach Wells has done an outstanding job, since taking over that program and really kind of, infused some really good life into that program. And I think, some of the players that he's brought in have made plays. I mean, starting with the quarterback, I think he's done some great things, and had a record-setting year last year, close to 4,000 yards passing, and so he's back. Their running back is a guy we had in camp at Louisville. I really liked him coming out of high school, and he's good kick returner and a good running back, and a couple of really notable offensive linemen that are getting a lot of accolades as well preseason. We know we're going to get a great shot out of EKU coming in here, but we're just excited about our opportunity to play and open this season up.
Scott, the NFL has preseason, high school even, you can get some full contact scrimmages in before that first game. There's none of that in college. What are some pros and cons to that, especially as you're building this new program?
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked me this week about that same question. I think I kind of like the way we do it preseason in college football. I mean, I think you got an opportunity, really basically a couple of weeks in camp to find out your team, what it's made of in practice. We also do a couple scrimmages, within each other. So you're kind of, basically going against each other and trying to find out what guys can do. And then, you take that last week and, kind of that transition between camp and your first game and now obviously game week. I kind of like that. I think if you're playing some preseason games, a lot of times there may be a few players you're trying to find some stuff out about, but, you pretty much know kind of your starters. And, you look at the NFL, a lot of those guys don't play. You have no idea what kind of team some of these teams are going to have in the NFL until you start playing games. So, one thing that I wouldn't mind seeing is a game in the spring. I think the spring is a good time to maybe play a team, a regional team. Let's get together and have that spring game and make that 15th practice a game. And sell tickets, make it a game, and I think that could really generate a lot of promise for these teams and all the teams really, and being able to play each other in the springtime. I think that's probably a better time, in my opinion, to do that.
How much do you think it helps getting a team that's able to pass the ball around the way that Eastern Kentucky does to test this defense right out of the gate?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're certainly, facing a team that's one of the better passing teams at FCS level last year. A quarterback that I think, has a great opportunity at the next level. I could absolutely see him on a team in the NFL next year. He's a guy, he's got good size, great confidence, can throw, has a really good velocity on his ball, but he also can throw the deep ball. He doesn't get rattled. So, yeah, I think it's certainly going to be a test for our defense. I mean, to find out what we're made of, because if you give this quarterback time, he can pick you apart. And so we got to be able to create some pressures there, and get him off his spot in that pocket and make him move his feet a little bit. And they do a great job of getting rid of the football. Not many guys got to him last year, and they do a good job of, not holding the ball and, letting those receivers get loose and him finding them. So, it'd be a great test for particularly our D-line to see if they can get some rush. And then also let's see what our DBs are made of. We've got some guys back there that are new, that are going to be playing, and so, interested to see what those guys can do. So it'll be a great test.
Playing a non-Power 5 team to start the season, how much do you at all use the App State-Michigan example to make sure your players are ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, there's been too many examples out there of teams beating teams that maybe shouldn't have. you got to bring it every week. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I don't care. I mean, you got to bring it every week. We've talked about that. I mean, but we talk about it every day. I mean, like we don't want to take a day off. These last whatever 3 weeks we've been practicing, we can't take a day off. You have to bring it every day. Particularly. You create that competition. So, our guys get in a habit of bringing it every day because knowing, man, somebody's going to take my spot if I don't bring it today. So when you practice that way, you create that habit. Then hopefully in the games, you're doing it every single rep, every single play. And I certainly shoot. You can never overlook anybody. You got to bring it all the time. I mean, EKU is going to come in here and. Certainly they're playing a level up, and they're going to try. It's a Super Bowl, come in here and play as best they can. And a lot of their players, I know how they felt, back at App State or whatever, maybe wasn't recruited by Cincinnati, and I want to go prove to them, I could have played at that level. You guys overlooked me, and so they're certainly going to play with a chip on their shoulder. We understand that, but I think more than anything, our guys. No matter who we're playing, you have to bring it, and you have to prepare that way every single day in practice. And thought Sunday we had a really good practice, and certainly this afternoon our guys are going to have to bring it.
Spoken on a couple occasions about the 2s and the 3s being ready, or will they be ready? You think your 1s will be ready? Where's your confidence level right now in the 2s and the 3s?
Well, still, not all the way where it needs to be, I don't think. I think, I feel good about our 1s. I mean, it's going to be, we're going to have some 2s and some 3s to rise up and to go out and make plays and be more consistent. I think that's probably the big thing. They can do it, but you got to show it every single play and every single time you're on the field. I feel like certain positions we're better than others as far as depth goes, but those guys are going to have to be able to make plays. And, this certainly this first game, you're going to have to rotate guys. You're going to have to play guys. And the ones when you're in your 2 or 3 and you're getting your chance and your opportunity, they make the most of it. We know as we get throughout this season, we're going to have to play more and more of those guys. You start getting guys dinged up, and it's a long season, so you're going to have to play a lot of players.
There were times where you had to hold out Corleone and Briggs and Phillips during practice on purpose. You don't want them damaging your quarterback. I mean, there's got to be great interest on your part and fans' part just to see what these guys can do. A lot of hype around them and spotlights on.
Yeah. I don't have much question what they can do and what they will do. I think they're going to be hard to block. I think Briggs is playing the best ball of his career right now. Certainly hadn't had to play a game this year, but I think he will go out and make plays. Those guys will impact games. Now the thing about sometimes at the defensive line position, they may not show up as much in the stat sheet, but they will impact games because they're gonna demand some double teams. And when that happens, it's going to free up our linebackers to be able to scrape and make more plays. So it'll be interesting. That, to me, will be the interesting thing is to see how they show up in the stat sheet, or is it when we go turn the tape on and those guys have demanded double teams across the board and our linebackers are free to go make a lot of tackles. I mean, so I think they will certainly impact the game. I do believe they will be able to, cause some havoc in the backfield, whether it be in the run game or a pass game. But I also think that we got a lot of depth there, so we can rotate guys and keep those guys fresh. And when you are out there playing, and you're 100% out there, we're getting you out, and the next guy's in, and he's going to go make plays. That's the one position I feel maybe better than any other position is at the defensive line with enough depth and talent there to really to go 3 deep at some of those positions, and I think that certainly will bode well for us throughout the season.
You've coached a lot of big games and a lot of full stadiums. Mm-hmm. What's your excitement level to finally find out what a packed, loud Nippert is like?
I'm as excited as I've ever been, for a first game, and to come out and coach in this environment and in this stadium, man, it's going to be awesome. I love everything about it. I love the size. I mean, it's not a 100,000 seat stadium, but it's right on top of you. You're going to feel like the opponent hopefully will feel smothered and make it more difficult for them to do things and move the ball offensively. I know our players will feed off of the excitement and the atmosphere, and it's inspirational to those guys, and they'll continue to bring it every play. And more than anything, you don't want to let the people down that have paid money to come see you play. I mean, let's give them a good show and not let those guys down and give them something to cheer about. And so they'll come back again. And I think, every time you don't ever take it for granted. So you have to bring that. That's why you bring it every play and every game, and to make it exciting for the fans that are coming to watch us play.
Does that kind of mean something to you personally, that they're willing to kind of devote their time and money to you specifically and still keep that excitement in Cincinnati football despite being your first year here?
Yeah, well, I think it's more not about me. I think it's about the Bearcat program and, and the Bearcat, faithful that have come year after year to come support this team. And I think, I'm very fortunate and blessed to be the head coach here. Now I get to experience it, stand on the sideline and get the best seat in the house. And, the excitement around Big 12, a new conference that we're going into, I think, so there's a lot of reasons for fans to be excited. And we got a lot of new opponents this year. And, I look and see, hey, man, we've sold, X amount of tickets and we're selling the stadium out. It's awesome, but at the same time, as a head coach, I want to make sure we're putting a great product on the field that's going to be very competitive and that's going to make some plays that the people are going to be excited about, and cheer loud and go back and tell their man, you got to come to a game. It's unbelievable, So that's what we have to do as coaches and players and keep them excited about coming back.
Emory struggled a little bit in spring. Aside from just obviously having more time in the summer, what did he do specifically this fall that you felt like allowed him to get comfortable and kind of up his game?
Well, we added a lot more receivers in the receiver room. I think that was big to actually have some players, more players to throw to out there. And I also think just he worked hard over the summer, as our whole team did. And in the summertime now we're able to work a little bit more with our athletes. And continue the development of offense and defense that we did in the spring. So it's just, I think, more of a comfort level for another couple of months. Bringing in some new guys, getting comfortable throwing the ball to those guys. And then as we started camp, we started seeing, a lot better play. I think we were able to hit some plays on our defense that, we couldn't hit in the spring. And, I think it was night and day difference, really, from the spring to this fall camp. So, and I think Emory's gotten better and better. And the last couple of practices and Sunday, he was really good, and I think we got to have a great practice today and obviously the rest of this week, because now you're narrowing your game plan, in camp, by the end of camp, you got everything in. And so now you're narrowing it down. Okay, here's the plays we're going to run against EKU. We're going to focus on these. Let's get really good at these plays this week. And that's why I thought Sunday was really good, because the wide receivers, tight ends, backs, and Emory, everybody was kind of more dialed in. Here's our game plan. Let's kind of go here. And even today, now we're a lot more focused on that as well. So I think we all think by game time, game week, when we get dialed in a lot better offensively, better execution and all that, because during camp against our defense, we're not game planning our defense. We're just running plays, and we got a lot of stuff in and seeing how the guys react. It's a lot better now once we get to game week.
There's listed as the unofficial starter.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go for $145 in this game, or Miles or Ryan or
Mm-hmm.
any of them, do you keep evaluating it early in the season, or if one guy takes off, is he the guy?
Yeah, we're going to continue to evaluate all year. I hope somebody goes off that way and breaks some long runs, and we are able to run the football and get some good rushing yards. We want to be able to run the football. It starts up front with our offensive line and our tight ends. And I think they can create some nice holes. I have confidence in our backs to be able to go get some good chunk yards. We have to be able to do that. And I'm I hope it's not just one back. I hope it's a couple guys that are out there providing some great rushing yards. If we're able to do that, then it's going to put more pressure on the defense. And now they start tightening up for the run game. It's going to open up some of these wide receivers as well. So it's just a great balance we have to have there. So again, there's a lot of new parts to the offense this year. I've read something today about our offensive lineman. You got one starter returning, Gerhard, and everybody else is new. So not a lot of experience up front, and but I feel confident those guys will be able to create some nice holes for those backs to run through.
Talked about the second and third level on the depth chart. Who kind of in that range has surprised you the most as someone that you might not have been thinking that could contribute, but now is really someone that you can count on?
Well, I think, as you think about some of the starters that we had in the spring, a lot of those guys are still the starters, as we head into camp. The guy that's kind of stuck out this spring or this August camp was Antoine Peak, is a guy who's maybe was down the depth chart, and then now after this spring he's number 2 safety. He's a guy that will get to play. I mean, he's going to get some good playing time. Some depth guys, that we brought in. I thought DJ Taylor is another guy who's listed as a backup, but will be in a rotation. He'll be able to play there too, and provides a lot of speed that we saw this spring for him in the back end. I feel like at the corner position that we got some guys, with Sammy and Jordan, I think that are solid players, but I think we have some other guys behind them. I think they're going to be good. I mean, Justin Harris has played some ball for us. I think he gives us some more depth right there as well. So it'll be good to see. I think that more than anything where we've provided ourselves for depth is at the wide receiver room. We didn't have any depth in the spring, and barely had some starters in the spring, and now you influx a lot of these guys, and now I feel very confident 7 or 8 of those guys at the wide receiver room that can go out and play at a high level.
Coach Satterfield just said that you're kind of playing the best football of your life right now. I guess what's the difference from the past that you're hitting your peak right now?
I'd say it's just, having a better understanding for football in general. So a better understanding of what you're seeing offense-wise, physically, being in the best shape that I've been in my whole life. I'm blessed to have a great strength coach that has been allowing us to do that. And, just also being in a different position. So, it's a lot different from being on the inside, whereas you're on the outside. I mean, a lot of times you're putting your hands on one person as opposed to, worrying about 2 at a time. So I just think it creates a lot of unique opportunities for me to, get in the backfield. And I think it really marries well with this defense.
So you talk about that transition to the defensive end there. Just talk about what your relationship has been like with Brian Brown heading into this game week.
Yeah, I mean, Coach says it all the time. A couple of us guys were, pretty much in the meeting rooms, I'd say pretty much as soon as we got back after the bowl game, just to make sure that we, start off on a great foot with the defense coordinator and all the new staff, make sure that we had an understanding of what we were getting ourselves into, of course. So, just being one of the first guys that are really in there, really eager to learn, and just really making sure that I had a grasp of what we were actually going to try to do here, really, is making myself feel a lot more comfortable playing in this defense now.
Go. You played outside towards the end of the season, and it looked like things started to click after maybe that second or third game. I know the system's different, but how much can you translate that over to where you're at now, going back outside?
Yeah, I think I can translate a lot. Luckily, there will be a lot of times where I'm in that head-up position, kind of like the same way we played it 2 years ago. So, I'll be in that position a lot of different times. So, a lot of things I did then can translate now. Also, then I was 320. Now I'm, a smooth 295, 300. So, that extra 20 pounds off my back kind of helps a lot too. So, it should be a lot interesting to see what's going on out there.
Coach Satterfield just called this game on Saturday Eastern Kentucky's Super Bowl. How do you prepare for a team that's coming in like everything's on the line?
I'd say, for me personally, I'm kind of a guy that gets into routine. So I prepare the same exact way for everyone. So, for me, that's making sure I get my hands on the film as early as possible. Luckily, we're going straight into this as our first game. We've had the whole camp to, look at them, look at what they're running, look at how they, mesh as a team. They have the same offensive coordinator, so we can look at that past film. So luckily, we get to have a bit of a leg ahead. Or for me, as I said, I prepare for everyone exactly the same. I get to have that leg ahead. No matter who's playing on Saturday, no matter who's across from you, I feel like it's only respectful and it's only, natural for you to prepare as if you're going against the most difficult opponent you could ever see. So I don't discredit anyone, or not even discredit. I don't discount anyone or try to make it seem like, because to me, we're playing our Super Bowl on Saturday too. That could be the last game we play. So, I'm happy to just be able to approach the game with that type of mindset.
0 this year. Last year's 0 is now a Minnesota Viking. The 0 on offense, Braden Smith has been catching everything, and you're the other 0. Is 0 now the number to have?
I would say so. I mean, personally, I actually was number 1 in spring, but then we had a guy that wanted number 1, a little corner named JY wanted number 1. So I was like, okay, well, let me switch to 0 because that was a number that was open. So I'm not really a big guy that's really big on having, a special number or something like that. I just tried every year to get a lower number. So I started with 99, went to 19, went to 18, and went to 1, and now I'm at 0. So I can't get much lower than that in my last year.
Speaking of number 0 last year, Ivan Pace, he went from undrafted to now fighting for a starting spot in Minnesota. Does this surprise you at all? What are your thoughts on Ivan's success in the NFL right now?
I'd say it's not surprising at all. I mean, some guys are just ball players, point blank period. Some guys can just play ball, and I'll look at Ivan and say the same thing I told him. If you can play ball, no matter where you get in, whether it be first round or undrafted, you'll be able to make a name for yourself. So, I take a lot of pride in being able to play with him for that last year and being able to, kind of grow close to him, be a friend with him, and kind of be a guy that I can tell him get a little chippy with sometimes.
Eastern has a 4,000-yard passer, gets the ball out quick. What kind of challenges are you seeing on tape from their passing game?
Yeah, so, it's really just making sure that we can apply that pressure. As you said, it's a lot of quick game. So making sure that we can apply that pressure while still covering the quick game. So, it's making sure that, us guys up front are communicating what we see, whether it's a run, pass, tell, and making sure that we're able to actually get after it when we're asked to get after it.
Keegan and Ryan, you were chosen
as a captain by your teammates. What's that feeling when it's kind of broken to you that your teammates really respect you that much that they want to see you lead this team?
I'd say it's one of the best feelings you could have as a guy that's, older, kind of guy that people have been asking to do certain things. It kind of is a reminder that the things that you've been asked to do are actually being done. Like you're actually doing what you've been asked to do. And, that's one of the best things I can say about this team and about this culture is, the guys will say it. In the locker room, we all respect each other and we all understand what each other are saying. So it really means a lot to me for everybody to kind of hold me in that regard, not only coaches but as well as the players. It means a lot to me.
How much was Brian Brown giving you the type of freedom that he gives you on the defensive line? How has that helped with your progression in this system?
Yeah, I'd say it helps a lot. So a lot of times, it's a funny saying that popped up a lot of times last year. There were situations where we would play fit ball instead of football, whereas fit ball, you stay right here in this C gap, and our linebacker's going to plug that B gap, and he's going to get there and, do X, Y, Z. Whereas now, play a little bit of football, you get upfield and then get in the backfield. I can't complain. You're taking the B and the C gap, and you might get a TFL. So, I think it's just two different styles of play that, both of them work, obviously, with the success we had in defense before. But I think as a D lineman, like I said earlier, this is a dream defense. You basically get to rip it open and go ahead and go.
Asked you this before, but before the first game, again, Walnut Hills for you, Dante, Colerain, Phillips, Colerain, Malik, Fairfield, behind you, Pace, Colerain.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you guys going into this Big 12 season that these are Cincinnati dudes?
Yeah, we just take a lot of pride in everything that's been sort of laid down. Even though, Cincinnati will continue to progress, I think a lot of guys are starting to see that we're still laying down train tracks for the future. And I think a lot of guys that are from Cincinnati take a lot of pride in that. I take a lot of pride in that myself. I say it all the time. I went to preschool right in the Arlett Center right there. So I've pretty much been around here my whole life. So, coming back here and being able to actually contribute to the University of Cincinnati is something that is real big for me.
You're up to what, 3 kids now? Any talks with diaper companies, NIL deals?
Hey, I'm still trying to reach. I'm still hoping a couple reach out here and there. I can promise you're not going to find another guy that has 3 kids and is attempting to continue to play at the same level. But, one thing I'd say is, hey, if there are any diaper companies interested, I would love to reach out because it's going through about 50 diapers a day, and, it's not getting any better.
Jowon, talk about what the last few days have been like. You had Friday.
Yeah, so Friday or the 25th, we went in and my wife went and got induced. So we were there pretty much the whole day. She didn't actually get induced until we went in at 6. She didn't get induced until I think it was like 2 o'clock. That all went quick as soon as we were done there, like 2 hours in the hospital. and then or 2 days in the hospital. Then finally got to go home. You know how it gets when you go home. The baby's crying all throughout the night. Obviously, it's not as bad to me, but it's still waking up and being able to wake up a lot and help feed or do whatever I got to do. And it's pretty much it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a roller coaster that I've been on 2 other times, so it's definitely not as bad. So my first son, Jowon, he is 2, about to be 2.5. My daughter, Rin, is 1. Her birthday was in July. And then my new son, Zane, he was born on the 25th. What does that make him, 4 days old? So it's a pretty loud house, reminiscent of how it was with me and my family. But, back then I guess I didn't remember because I was a baby. You got a target number? There's 3 or not? I'd say, I have 5 siblings, so, hey. 6 is the number. 6 is the cap for sure. I'm saying, we already have our little YMCA basketball teams, though. Oh, yeah, we always read the same book every night. They like the book. It's How Do Dinosaurs Go to Sleep? Read the same exact book. Do a little. We sing all the time in the house, so humming or singing during right before they go to sleep. And then they have their sound machine that actually plays a couple different songs to allow them to go to sleep. I think they might jump out of the cribs if we turn that one on.
Any other questions for Jowon? Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Questions for Emory?
About your comfort level as you have gone through now the full camp and gotten back to campus. Does it feel like now like you're in command? This is your offense. You know where you want to be?
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely a different feeling now. Just being through this process. Well, actually, just honestly going into the season as a starter for the 3rd time. Just the preparation part, knowing what to expect, the way to prepare. I done been through it 3 times, so I think now I'm probably like the most comfortable I ever been. And even like just in this offense around the guys, like I said again, like this being my 3rd time doing this. It just feels different. It feels different.
You were chosen by a captain, or you were chosen as a captain by your teammates. When you kind of found out that news with Coach Satterfield telling everyone, what was that feeling like that in your first year, you haven't even been here for like a full year, that they trust you so much to choose you as a captain?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. I knew coming in, like I said, again, like this 3rd time of doing this. I was a captain last year at Arizona State, so I kind of knew how to come in, how to approach this situation, and just making sure I earn the trust of all my peers. Everybody in the building, honestly. And, to have that honor, there's no better feeling, honestly, just knowing the guys have your respect, they all trust you, and look to you to be your best at all times.
Coach Satterfield called this EKU Super Bowl coming up on Saturday. How do you prepare and how do you have the right mentality going into a team that's trying to play up like they have nothing to lose?
For me, I say just prepare like you would for any game. For us, I think we just need to go out there and execute, just play our game, just do what we're supposed to do, and everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to.
This is your first game here at the University of Cincinnati. Just talk about what's been the message some of the teammates have given you in preparation to expect come Saturday when you take that field.
It's crazy because that's probably the most exciting thing. Like the most thing I'm excited about. It's just seeing like how Nippert Stadium stands out. We had a spring game. We had a couple scrimmages here. It was packed, but I'm ready to see it like full swing. But all week I've been talking to like guys like Dante. He'd tell me, he was like, man, you're gonna see it's gonna be different Saturday. It's gonna be different. I'm like, man, I'm ready to see. I done been in some loud stadiums, it's not the biggest, but like he said, it get loud. When I'm just excited. I'm ready to see how it all plays out.
Jersey on in practice now it's for real. Last year didn't go maybe the way you wanted, or are you anxious to show Emory Unleashed, what you can do?
Yeah, honestly, just go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. Not really thinking about any individual things, honestly. just go out there and just play my ball and honestly just have fun. I feel like that's one thing I probably have not been doing the last couple of years. Playing quarterback, probably thinking too much, trying to do too much. I say, but now just going out there, just playing football, and just having fun. Honestly.
Coach Satterfield said that it's going to require some patience in terms of the offensive line, a young group that hasn't been together that much. From your perspective as the quarterback, what's going to be the key to having an efficient, effective offense that'll put points up?
For me as a quarterback, just making sure they're all on the same page, honestly. Like you said, we have a group that hasn't been together the longest. So, I mean, for me as a guy who can move and can run a little bit, I think it works out a lot better. But honestly, just keeping those guys on the same page, making sure, they're all connected and I mean, just rock and roll like that. I mean, they've been doing a great job over a fall camp and this week right here, just trying to prepare and trying to get different keys of what they do so it can help us out. And I think they'll do a really good job.
This wide receiver room was completely overhauled. Where does it stack up to the wide receiver rooms you've worked with in your career? And how impressive is it how quickly the coaching staff rebuilt that room?
Honestly, me and Coach Tommy was talking about it the other day. He was like, man, he thinks this is probably like the best receiver group he's ever been in. And for me, honestly, it's been the same. I think it's the same. We got a lot of talented guys that can make plays all over the field. And, I mean, we did a really good job recruiting those guys, bringing them in. We got some guys who were here last year that'll be in the rotation a lot. So, I mean, I'm just excited about the group, just ready to go let them actually go make plays against somebody else, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Evan Prater and how quickly he's come along. Are you starting to feel confident that he's going to be able to be there when you need him?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a guy we connect really well, actually. I mean, like he was in the quarterback room. So he helped me out a lot when I got here. So, I mean, just having him as a receiver and now he really understands what a quarterback wants, you know what I mean? So just having his size, his athletic ability, just going out there making plays, I think he'll make a lot of plays on Saturday, actually.
Talent and athleticism, as a receiver only gets you so far. How far away is the chemistry with a totally new receiver group from where you want it to be?
I feel good. I feel good about them, honestly. We did a lot of work when they got here. Like, we worked almost every day, and that's something I knew that we had to do to make sure that we all on the same page. Like when you have like that many transfers come in, that many different guys that haven't been together that long, you have to make sure the chemistry is there. That's something that I knew. So just the work that we put in, it definitely showed over fall camp, I feel like. And now leading up to the first game, I mean, it's just been getting better, honestly.
As a new quarterback with all new receivers, how do you build that chemistry before even playing a first game?
Honestly, just working, just doing the work that's not required. Staying after a workout when you know you're dead tired, just catching over-the-shoulder balls, just talking through different things that I like as a quarterback, that a different release that I might like, that I feel like I throw my best balls on, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that, just making sure that we all on the same page, honestly.
You said that having fun is your priority on Saturday and this season. What do you think forced you to stray away from having fun with this, and what are you doing maybe consciously to make sure that you're having fun out there?
Honestly, probably what strayed me away from having fun, probably thinking too much, trying to be too perfect, honestly. Now my focus is on just doing everything right, you know what I mean? Not thinking too much, just doing it right. I mean, I've been doing it for years, you know what I mean? Just making the right reads, just making the right plays, putting the balls in my playmakers' hands and let them just go make plays and just go out there and just play ball like we used to growing up, you know what I mean? That's honestly how I think about it.
Any other questions? Thanks, Emory.
All right, thank y'all.
Emory will also be at the original Montgomery and tonight